No one saw this coming. Jennifer Lopez humiliates Jimmy Kimmel Live and the studio stops. What happens when the biggest pop star in the world is cornered live, in front of millions of viewers, and decides not to back down? What began as just another glamorous stop on the Dance Again World Tour in Austin, Texas, turned into one of the most intense moments ever aired on American television. On The Midnight Circle, a talk show known for its biting sarcasm, Jimmy Kimmel went too far and provoked a reaction from Jennifer Lopez that no one expected. Frozen stares, veiled jabs, a clash between a music legend and a host who underestimated his guest. But how far can the line between humor and disrespect be stretched? And what happens when a woman at the peak of her career decides she won't silently accept condescension disguised as an interview? In this video, you'll follow every minute of this off-script conversation. The audience's reaction, the comment that made headlines, the comeback that set social media on fire, and the moment the star chose to walk off the stage. Get ready to relive a night that redefined the relationship between fame, resilience, and media. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Whose side are you on in this story? Because after tonight, you'll never look at live interviews the same way again. The studio lights blaze brightly. The crowd erupts in applause as Jennifer Lopez steps onto the stage in a stunning orange dress that glows under the spotlight. She waves with a flawless smile, carrying the poise of someone who's conquered the world's biggest stages. Off to the side, her 29-year-old personal assistant, Talita, watches closely. She knows the script, but something feels off. Maybe it's the ironic glint in Jimmy Kimmel's eye as he waits at center stage, wearing his trademark sarcastic grin. "Welcome, Jennifer. Always a pleasure to have a legend among us," he says, extending his hand. The crowd laughs, but his tone has a double edge. The conversation starts light, with compliments about the tour's success and her electrifying performances. But then comes the first jab. "You're 54 now. Can you really keep doing all this night after night?" Jennifer doesn't lose her smile, but her eyes narrow just slightly. "Yeah, Jimmy, with training, talent, and a little bit of Latin magic." The audience laughs and applauds, but the mood begins to shift. Jimmy smiles tightly, already preparing the next blow. Talita crosses her arms backstage. She knows Jennifer is strong, but she also knows the media's cynical limits. And there, under the bright lights of Austin, the game of veiled attacks had just begun. Jimmy straightens some papers, looks at Jennifer with a smile that feels more like a challenge, and says almost casually, "You know, you're not that same Jenny from the block anymore. Madonna tried to keep it going for a while, and we all saw how that turned out. Aren't you afraid of embarrassing yourself too?" The studio falls silent. The audience, just moments ago warming up with laughter and cheers, freezes. Jennifer doesn't answer right away. She takes a deep breath, crosses her legs elegantly, and locks eyes with Jimmy. "You've embarrassed yourself plenty of times and you're still hosting this show. So I think I'll be fine." The crowd erupts with a mix of surprise and excitement. A collective "oh" ripples through the room. In the back row, a 19-year-old fan named Diego holds a handwritten sign, "Dance like no one's underestimating you." He claps quietly, pride in his eyes. Jimmy tries to laugh it off, but the sound is nervous. He senses he's lost control of the narrative, yet pushes forward. "Hey, relax, I'm just kidding. The audience loves your energy. Even if it's not quite what it used to be." The second jab doesn't go unnoticed. Jennifer glances toward the side of the stage and sees Talita frowning, tense. At that moment, in front of cameras, fans, and millions watching around the world, a boundary is drawn. And Jennifer, under pressure, shows no sign of backing down. By now, tension is the true star of the show. What should have been a typical promotional interview has turned into a live duel between resilience and thinly veiled contempt. But what about you? How far should an interviewer go when joking about someone's career? Drop your comment below, because the next questions go even deeper. And Jennifer's response is one you won't forget. Sensing the audience slipping away, Jimmy takes a final gamble disguised as curiosity. He leans forward with a smile that tries to seem friendly and says, There's a rumor going around. They say you use stand-ins for the harder parts of your choreography. Is that true? The crowd lets out a muffled reaction. Part surprise, part discomfort. Jennifer remains still for 2 seconds. The entire studio holds its breath. The kind of silence that comes right before something historic. She then stands from her chair, slowly, deliberately, like someone about to make a statement. Her orange dress shimmers under the lights. Her gaze sharpens and locks onto the host. You want me to dance right now? Live. Want me to prove it to you? Or to the people paying your salary? The crowd erupts. Some people instinctively rise to their feet. Jimmy, clearly uncomfortable, tries to laugh it off, but his expression betrays him. Jennifer doesn't smile. She stands tall, owning every word and gesture. Talita, stage left, grips her headset tightly, eyes wide. Jennifer doesn't dance. Not yet. But her stance says everything. She doesn't need to prove a thing. Her reply is more powerful than any choreography. Presence. The kind of presence you can't teach. The entire energy of the studio shifts. The audience senses something's about to snap. There's no room for jokes anymore. Only consequences. And you? What would you do if your authenticity were questioned on national television? Jennifer chose dignity, and her full response is still coming. Jimmy tries to regain control with a forced light tone. Relax, it was just a joke. Or did I hit a sensitive spot? Jennifer turns to him slowly, still standing. The audience feels the weight before she even speaks. She takes a deep breath and says, sharp and unwavering, you represent everything that tries to diminish women who don't give up. The world forgives you for telling the same bad joke year after year. But when a woman dares to shine past 40, that becomes laughable, huh? The difference between us, Jimmy, is simple. I never had to tear anyone down to stay relevant. The audience explodes in applause. Some stand. Others simply watch in stunned silence, aware they've just witnessed something unforgettable. Jimmy swallows hard, hiding his embarrassment behind an automatic smile. But the damage is done. Jennifer swiftly removes her lapel mic, places it gently on the chair, and walks toward the edge of the stage. When she reaches the side, she turns one last time, locks eyes with Jimmy from a distance, and says, with a half-smile laced with irony, "Good luck with the ratings tomorrow, Kimmel." Talita steps aside to let her through, both awed and tense. In the back rows, Diego is already on his feet, holding his sign high, not just applauding an artist, but honoring a stance. It was the breaking point. There was no more show, no more script, no more control. Only the raw truth of a live confrontation, between the arrogance of a host and the strength of someone who's faced much worse off camera. In that moment the talk show became history. And Jennifer Lopez once again became the headline. Jimmy stands frozen for a few seconds, unsure of what to say. The silence in the studio is thick, uncomfortable. He finally looks at the camera, forcing a smile that barely hides his embarrassment. "Well, that was an intense interview, huh?" he says, trying to maintain the air of a seasoned host, but the hesitation in his voice says it all. The audience is divided. Some whisper to one another, others remain silent, and a few continue applauding Jennifer's exit, as if they understand the weight of what just happened. That's when, from the back rows, Diego raises his voice, still clutching his sign. "You just can't handle a strong woman, huh, Jimmy?" A murmur spreads through the studio. The phrase reverberates. Part of the crowd begins clapping spontaneously. Others stay silent, stunned by the turn of events. Jimmy tries to regain control with a joke, but gives up halfway through. He realizes the stage no longer belongs to him. On the sidelines, Talita watches it all unfold without blinking. She knows this scene is already making waves behind the scenes, and within hours, it'll be all over every timeline on the planet. But more than that, she understands what this moment represents. A break from the old formula of entertainment, where women are expected to smile while being torn down. The interview was over, but the impact was just beginning. One artist left the stage, and left behind a lesson no one in that studio will ever forget. The image of Jennifer Lopez walking off the stage still echoes across social media. Short clips are spreading at lightning speed, captioned with phrases like, "J.Lo shut it down," and "Is this the end of Jimmy Kimmel?" The Midnight Circle, long a tone-setter for pop culture conversations, now finds itself the target of them. The debate is everywhere. Did Jennifer go too far in how she reacted, or did Jimmy cross every line of decency? The final voiceover begins over slow-motion footage of Jennifer's exit, Jimmy's stunned face, and Diego raising his sign high in the crowd. In the age of total exposure, where everything is content, who controls the narrative when the script collapses live? Did Jennifer silence a host, or give voice to millions tired of seeing women disrespected with a smile? Now the word is yours. Comment below. What was the most shocking moment of the interview? Do you agree with Jennifer's reaction? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Every week, we bring you unfiltered stories from the pop and media world, straight to your screen. And if the next big cultural shift happens live again. Because if there's one thing this night in Austin proved, it's this. Not every stage is built for entertainment. Some are built for resistance. Jennifer Lopez didn't just respond. She redefined the game. She showed that age is not a barrier, that talent doesn't need permission, and that the stage always belongs to those brave enough to use it with truth. So here's the question that won't go away. What will be the next moment to flip the script on national television? Spoiler: you'll want to be here when it happens. If you love explosive behind-the-scenes, real moments that go off script, and voices that still have something to say through all the noise, this is your channel. Subscribe now, hit that bell, and leave a like if this video made you see things differently. And of course, share it with that friend who lives for live drama but knows how to recognize when someone simply delivers everything. See you in the next episode. Because here, pop is real, and silence is never an option.